YouTube, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I got a very interesting article. I think y'all going to like this one that I'm jumping into today. Go on ahead, deposit your soul coins, and let's get started with today's video. All right, guys, what is going on? Yo, listen. When I took a look at this article, hey, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a very interesting idea here. And the fact of the matter that it's coming from the Dragon Ball official website itself is going to say a lot of things. Now, guys, go on ahead and take a look at the screen. You guys remember this episode? You guys remember this? This was one of the most emotional arcs, especially with so much character development with the surrounding character that we know about, okay? Guys, this had to be, I believe, one of the best displays of none other than the boy Vegeta's character development. Guys, let's go on ahead and take a look at it. You've seen it in the title and you're seeing it now. We asked an expert about the father-son relationship between Vegeta and Trunkss and got a surprisingly emotional answer. With this, now we all know Vegeta is not a very emotional guy. But at the end of the day, by the time that the Majin Buu arc was over, we got to see a different and completely new wraparound of who Vegeta is and just how much Bulma and Trunkss really mean to him. Let's actually jump right into this article. As I said, I will leave the link in the description below so that you guys can go on ahead and click on this because it is from the Dragon Ball official site. Let's go on ahead and get started. Vegeta, the prideful prince of all Saiyans, from the planet of the same name, a planet he was destined to rule. He's so prideful, in fact, he'll go to any length to get what he wants, including killing his partner, Nappa, who he saw as a liability to his goal of attaining the Dragon Balls. However, the Saiyan warrior underwent many meaningful changes in the years following his initial invasion. One of the most important was having a son with Bulma named Trunkss. By the time Trunkss grows into a young boy in the Majin Buu arc, Vegeta is depicted as a more active parent to his child, including helping him with his training. It's fair to say Vegeta undergoes one of the most drastic changes in the series. What could have caused someone only interested in pursuing strength, who would kill his adversaries without a second thought, to become a caring father? We asked educational psychologist Daisuke Akamatsu to analyze Vegeta's complex psyche and were floored by the surprisingly emotional aspects that came to the forefront. Let's go on ahead and talk about just who is Daisuke, okay? The interviewee was Daisuke Akamatsu, the lecturer at the Kyoto University of Education. After completing the master's program at the Kyoto University of Education, he finished his graduate studies at the Nagoya University Graduate School of Human Development, earning a doctorate in psychology. His research focuses on student motivation and learning methodology in secondary education, world language education. Who was the interviewer, okay? Not really important, but we gonna show him some love. The interviewer was Ryuta Shimabukuro, a freelance writer, reporter for web-based outlets primarily, with bylines on Shueisha Online, Jendai Business, Biz/Zine, and more. He became a first-time father in 2023 with the birth of his son. He loves to dote on his adorable son, so chances are he'll be a Mr. Satan-like father in the future. Let's go on ahead and jump directly into this, okay? Vegeta, raised without knowing what a father really is, okay? This is important. This is really good, okay? Vegeta is a warrior with a strong sense of pride at his core. What do you think caused him to develop that type of personality? Did Vegeta losing his father at such a young age play a role? This is what Daisuke had to say about it. From what I've read of the manga's dialogue, it doesn't seem like the death of King Vegeta affected him that much. Ordinarily, young children develop a strong attachment to their parents, so losing someone that important at a young age has a profound impact that lasts the rest of their lives. However, during his fight with Dodoria, Vegeta said, "I could care less about my planet, my fellow Saiyans, or my parents," which leads me to believe he does not have much affection towards his father. Since Saiyans are a warrior race that are raised in a capsule during infancy, my guess is they don't develop a bond with their parents the way most children do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in on that for a couple seconds. You feel what I'm saying? You guys can go ahead and read that. Go ahead and pause the video as it's blown up so you guys can definitely take a read on that. But let's get back into it. He is then questioned and asked, would that have had an effect on Vegeta's personality? And Akamatsu goes on to state this. It's certainly possible that his lack of an attachment to his parents influenced his personality, okay? Infant children develop a framework for relationships called an internal working model based on their interactions with their parents. Since Vegeta's father died when he was so young, he was unable to form an internal working model, which is why he isn't good at forming personal relationships with people he meets, all right? The next question he was asked was this. Vegeta never knew what a real father was from the get-go, and yet he takes a great amount of pride in being the prince of planet Vegeta. Akamatsu goes on to state this. Yes, even in the latter half of the story, his emphasis on being the prince of all Saiyans is strongly linked to his sense of self. He was then questioned, what do you think Vegeta is so obsessed with being a prince, even though his planet was wiped out before he could assume the throne? Akamatsu goes on to state this. To Vegeta, the fact that he's a prince and comes from a royal pedigree may be more important than actually assuming the throne. He draws a great deal of encouragement from telling himself, I'm a prince, therefore I must be strong. Let's go on ahead and talk about it because you know we gotta add those studies and those scientifics directly behind the answers. Let's talk about it. Psychologically speaking, Vegeta and Bulma's marriage is actually quite natural. Let's talk about it. He was questioned. Vegeta eventually settles on Earth and takes Bulma as his wife. What kind of psychological changes do you think Vegeta went through during this period? Akamatsu goes on to state this. Vegeta and Bulma's relationship isn't depicted that much, so this is just conjecture on my part. But Eric H. Erickson's psychosocial theory of human development may give us a hint regarding Vegeta's psyche. The psychological theory of human development states that humans grow in a healthy manner by mastering certain developmental tasks during each stage of life. Vegeta also mastered an important development task hypothesized by this theory and appears to undergo a psychological transformation as a result. He was then go on to question like this. What developmental task did he master? Akamatsu states this. Vegeta appears to be in his 30s when he marries Bulma. According to the psychosocial developmental stages, a person that ages in the early adult stage of development, a stage in which a person should master the developmental task of intimacy. In this stage of development, creating an intimate bond and finding a partner is more important for healthy development. On the other hand, failure to do so results in isolation. In the Cell arc, Trunkss as a teenager explains that the reason his father and mother ended up together was because Bulma saw how lonely Vegeta looked. My guess is that he was still wavering between intimacy and isolation, but in the end wound up creating a relationship with Bulma. I will blow this scene directly up. This is exactly when Trunkss came down during the Saiyan arc, okay? Now, this is when after the Frieza arc, after the Namek arc. This is when Trunkss came down to meet Goku, and this is where he told him. So go on ahead and take a look at that. You may pause the video as needed. The next question that was being stated was this. So even someone like Vegeta was able to find a partner and build a relationship with them. Why do you think that partner ended up being Bulma? Akamatsu goes on to state this. From a psychological perspective, there are many possible reasons. For example, there are cases where prolonged exposure can play a role. This is called the mere exposure effect. This phenomenon is when someone grows to like something they had no interest in previously by becoming more familiar with it. After Planet Namek was destroyed, Bulma took it upon herself to invite Vegeta to live at her compound because he looked lonely. That means they would have had frequent contact with each other over a long period of time. This may have resulted in both of them developing an attraction towards one another, even though none existed previously. Moreover to Vegeta, it's possible Bulma provided him with a sense of authenticity. In psychological terms, it broadly means the ability to be true to oneself. In order to gain a sense of authenticity, you need a person who accepts you and an environment that allows you to be who you are. As someone laser focused on becoming stronger, the advanced technology on the Capsule Corporation's headquarters provided Vegeta with the ideal place to be his authentic self. Even after marrying Bulma, Vegeta continued to use the facilities at the Capsule Corporation for his training. This is very, very interesting. I love that. Let's go on ahead and talk about it, okay? The awareness of fatherhood grows through parenting. He went on to be questioned like this. During the Android and Cell arcs, Vegeta has a son, and the teenage version of his son also enters the picture. Despite becoming a father, we don't see much change in Vegeta's personality or how he conducts himself. Akamatsu goes on to state this. True, he treats future Trunks as another warrior rather than his son. And he goes on to be questioned, why do you think that is? And Akamatsu replies by saying this. A father who isn't there for his partner's pregnancy or birth and then doesn't interact with his child after they're born won't feel like he's a father, and it will be difficult for him to feel affection towards his family. Awareness of fatherhood grows in someone through the experience of, for example, soothing a crying baby at night or finding ways to compromise with a child who's being selfish. Since future Trunks appears suddenly as a teenager, it's only natural Vegeta wouldn't have any fatherly feelings towards him. In other words, it takes more than just the birth of a child for a man to feel like a father. Akamatsu goes on and states this. On the other hand, near the climax of the Cell arc, Vegeta becomes blinded with fury at the sight of future Trunks being killed and rushes headfirst at Cell. At that moment, he clearly felt love for the future version of his son. I will blow this up for you guys. Take a minute. You guys can go ahead and check it out. But you guys do remember when Trunks was killed after the returnal of Cell, after he was blown up. After he blew himself up and Goku teleported him to King Kai's planet and he came back and killed Trunks. Go ahead and take a moment to look at that and let's hop right back into it. The next question that was stated to Akamatsu was this. It was definitely out of character for Vegeta to charge at Cell under those circumstances. At what point do you think Vegeta began to care for Trunks? Akamatsu goes on to reply like this. I recall that there was a scene in which Vegeta and future Trunks trained together in the Room of Spirit and Time. I believe the time they spent there provided the opportunity for them to develop a relationship. However, it's not clear if their relationship was father, son, or master and student. All right, I will take the time to blow this up. Go on ahead and read that again. You may take the time to pause the video. Let's go on ahead and move on. The next question that was stated was this. So there's a possibility that training together formed a master/student relationship rather than that father-son one? And Akamatsu goes on to state precisely. However, even in regular families, there's overlap between father and child and master and student relationships. And it's believed these overlapping relationship dynamics fulfill the same purpose. In other words, of kabuki in sports, for example, simultaneous parent and child and master and student relationships are fairly common. And I think Vegeta and future Trunks shared a similar relationship. At any rate, the way Vegeta flew into a rage upon seeing Trunks die makes it clear he developed some sort of affection towards him. In other words, Vegeta slowly but surely began to develop some awareness of fatherhood throughout the events of the Android and Cell arcs. Alright? Let's go on ahead and jump directly into it. Excuse me. Looking at the two Trunks' personalities to see the bond between father and son. Vegeta comes across quite differently in the subsequent Majin Buu arc. For example, when he's training with the smaller Trunks from his timeline, he actually offers to take him to the park if Trunks can land a single hit on him. I remember this. Akamatsu goes on to state this. Oh my goodness, I hope my mic is not. Let's move that back just a little bit because that's getting on my nerves. Anyway, Akamatsu goes on to state this. It seems that his experiences during the Cell arc allowed Vegeta to grow as a father. After making the offer, Trunks responds quite enthusiastically. He's not simply happy for a chance to go to the park, he's happy to have his father accompany him there. In other words, young Trunks has a clear affection for Vegeta. I will go on ahead and blow that up so you guys can go ahead and take a look at it and read that. This was one of the most favorite parts that I've ever seen Vegeta go through. Vegeta had no love for his father, King Vegeta, so he grew up not knowing what a father is. However, he clearly loves and cares for his son Trunks. He was able to build the father-son relationship with his son that he never had with his own father. Wow, that's so moving. And Akamatsu replies, the manga doesn't delve into their relationship in detail, but I think you can make a case that Vegeta raising his son Trunks had a deep impact on him. The reason I think this is because of how different both versions of Trunks are, and this I actually definitely agree with. The teenage version of Trunks is cool and straightforward, while the child version of Trunks is a bit of a scamp and quite proud of himself. Both versions of Trunks have the exact same genetic makeup, so in that sense they are the same exact person. Despite this, their personalities cannot be more different. This could be due to the different environments each one was raised in and how much that impacted their respective development. True. Vegeta died when future Trunks was still very little. If Vegeta wasn't around for the Trunks of his timeline either, that version of his son might have developed a similar personality to his future counterpart. But since they're both very different types of people, it's reasonable to assume Vegeta played a role in his son's upbringing, which had a significant impact on his personality. Let's go on ahead and delve deeper into it, okay? How familial love helped Vegeta overcome his midlife crisis. This is a good one. This is definitely a good one, okay? What kind of psychological changes do you think Vegeta went throughout the story, okay? Akamatsu goes on to state this. I think Erickson's psychosocial theory of human development theory that I mentioned earlier can be applied here. After entering the early adulthood stage, Vegeta avoided isolation by mastering the developmental task of intimacy and became a partner to Bulma. From the Majin Buu arc onwards, Vegeta enters middle adulthood, where he has to master generativity? I believe that's what that word is. In middle adulthood, it becomes time to contribute to helping raise the next generation. Vegeta trains his son Trunks and watches over his development, meaning he's cleared his midlife developmental task as a result. According to Erickson's psychosocial theory of human development, if one is unable or unwilling to make this contribution to society, they may be overtaken with stagnation, which can shake their identity to its core. This is often referred to as a midlife crisis, which may be a perfect metaphor for what happens to Vegeta when he sells his soul to Babidi during their fight with his minions. I actually can get behind that. That's That's good. I will blow this up for you guys so that you guys can take a look at this pause the video when need be so that you guys can take the proper time to look at it. Let's go on ahead and move on. Akamatsu was then questioned with this. You're referring to the scene where Vegeta allows Babidi to brainwash him in order to defeat Goku. Vegeta declares to his rival, I want it to be the way I used to be. I want to be the ruthless and cold-blooded Saiyan, to fight it out with you, not caring about anything else. So while he took pride in raising his child, he was also suffering because he felt like he was losing his desire for strength, which is an instinct all Saiyans possess. Akamatsu goes on to state this. Yes, I believe he was feeling a sense of stagnation. However, before using a self-destruct technique in order to defeat Majin Buu, he tells his son, Trunkss, take care of mom. After struggling between generativity and stagnation, Vegeta ultimately accepts who he's become and accepts the love he has for his family. I'm going to definitely blow this one up because this scene was just so heartfelt and so emotional towards the readers and the viewers alike. Go on ahead and pause the video so that you guys can take the proper time to check it out. Let's continue on. He was then stated with this statement that is such a wonderful story, and Akamatsu replies as such. I would say that Vegeta is a good example of someone mastering developmental tasks and slowly but surely becoming a father as a result. It is then stated, thank you very much for being here today. Conclusion of the interview, okay? Guys, this right here, oh my gosh, and the fact that it's not only just a regular article, but it's posted here on the Dragon Ball official site itself, that has to just, it speaks volumes, okay? It definitely does speak volumes for the simple fact that this must be some sort of stamped interview in the fact of the matter of trying to break down this relationship. Excuse me, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I love this article. I love all the information, and I'm glad that they actually got a professional to break down this whole story. And I wonder, I really do believe that this person watches anime to a T, especially the Dragon Ball Z, because the simple fact that they were able to hit with so many examples, they brought backup, they brought information, and then the knowledge that they already had from their previous schooling and education in the psychology realm of things and the science of things. That's what adds to this article and to his statement and backs it up with so much force. I can get behind this 100%. Guys, there you have it. Is there anything that you guys feel as though was off with this article? Is there anything that you would add to this article as far as your own disclosures when it comes to the relationship between Trunkss and Vegeta? And not only that, but I wanted to add that it definitely makes the bond even stronger of fatherhood with Vegeta after Super. When Vegeta, if you guys remember, I'm just going to throw this in there. Remember, Vegeta did not want to go to the Tournament of Power and be a fighter until Bola was born, his daughter. He did not want to do it, which is why Whis, all the angels can do time, manipulate time, which is why Whis sped up Bulma's pregnancy and Bola was born instantaneously, which then allowed Vegeta to fight in the Tournament of Power, which then also with this article shows that what Akamoto, hold on, before I'm not even gonna mess your name up, bruh. Akamatsu. What Akamatsu was stating here, it backs it up even further with the fact that from the Majin Buu arc onward, Vegeta has done nothing but made sure that his bond with his family has become stronger and stronger. Guys, there you have it. This has been a Dragon Ball official site article. Guys, I agree with this. And I kind of don't expect no backlash from you guys on this type of article, considering the fact that I think that it was really broken down very well. Very well. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, you already know what to do. Don't be afraid to hover and haunt that like button. Subscribe today to become part of the Soul Gang Team Nephilim. Let's get it. Tap that notification bell to know each And every single time I'm uploading these videos, baby. And guys, remember, to be good at the game, you gotta kill with skill. And until our next nightmare, guys, make sure you guys are following. Make sure you guys are supporting. Oh boy, you heard me. Guys, and until our next video, peace, guys.